is my second vlog on the autumn track. There's been some changes from last time. Mainly this section onwards, the break and the second drop. The sounds used in this section is the sub from earlier on, but I put a redux on the high pass. So it's just a little bit more, it sounds a bit glitchy, it sounds a little bit broken up, which is quite nice. I also played the guitar in, I played some chords and also played a little solo on 2 different tracks. I've used Guitar Rig to emulate an effects rack that you'd run the guitar through, different pedals and such. I got it through a high white amp and cabinet to just, I know I like the feel of it. I've got an envelope, but I got it turned off because obviously I don't know what it does. I did have a compressor on it as well, but I didn't like the way it sounded. It sounded too poppy and I couldn't get it to sound quite right, so I turned that off. I also have a filter as well, just to make sure there's no high end in it, give it a bit of space. And I've also used, I was going to use an Iceverb, but it turned out to be very, very resonant, and there was lots of different, there was quite a lot of spikes on the spectrum, so I used a reflector instead, which I think works much better. I've also got the same for both of these tracks. I put them in a group. I think the filter's a bit lower and maybe the reverb is a little bit less as well, but it's essentially the same thing. So that sounds like this if I solo both of them. And there's also another section down here. I had to do some automation to the volume to make sure there was no spikes or pops, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's sounding. I've also got this sound which is also used in the chorus, the massive patch. Add a bit more space to it. I've also got the grain delay pops as well. I got the white noise with the auto filter automation. Got some light percussion in there as well at the top. You can see there's just a couple of bits and a little bit more sparse than the choruses, but I think it works quite well. Then into the second drop we have the bass, which is far more automated than it has been before. So I'll solo that. So that just gives, gives the piece a little bit more sort of a pacey feel to it. I've got the same wavetable synth. Still got my contact patches. This massive patch is the same, although I have EQ'd it off at the top end because it's a little bit bright. I also have a random LFO and a cymbal delay, and this is on the repitch mode just to make it sound like maybe a little more analog. If I was to turn up this, you can hear the effect more. I don't like it to be too obvious, just I like it to be quite subtle. I mean, a sense being analog doesn't have to mean that you can hear the detuning, it just means that it has a little bit of extra depth to it within that. I also have a new wavetable patch as well, which plays these sort of short plucks. So they go in the background quite nicely. They just fill in the track. So this is what a section of the break and also the second drop sounds like. And when it gets to here, I drop the bass and the pads out for the ending. The wavetable still stays for a limited amount of bars. The piano goes up an octave. I've also put another little harmony in. The piano will harmonise with the synth. A little bit of like percussion in there just to sort of just bring the track to a nice ending. And on the master, I've got a vinyl distortion which will come in at the end. A high pass and low pass which do the same thing. I've also got a synoid fold on the master just so it brings out a couple more harmonics and stuff. I like the way it sounds, and I'm probably going to do that for the rest of the tracks once I master them. But I probably will do another vlog on each track for how I've mastered them, and also a limiter to make sure it's not clipping And that's how the track will end. And that's basically all the changes that I've made to it.